Welcome back to TalkersToGeeks.com. Justin here, and today we're back with more comic book reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond #1. And as always, I give you a brief synopsis, so here we go. Peter Parker is recovering after a fight that landed him in the hospital. While he's on the mend, he's still not in any shape to take on his responsibilities as Spider-Man. Fortunately, he's got his best girls, Mary Jane Watson and Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat, to make sure he lays off the superheroics until he's fully recovered. Now, usually I do not give spoilers for anything that we usually do. This one I want to give a spoiler warning because I have to talk about the ending because I thought the ending was very beautiful and very well written. And let me just give you a little overview of what I thought about the story. The story is very fun. This was a nice, fun adventure. I really like the interaction between Black Cat and Mary Jane Watson. Now, as the synopsis says, that Peter Parker, Spider-Man, is laid up in the hospital. And what happens is that Black Cat goes to visit him to check on him, see he's okay. Mary Jane's already in the room, and they both encounter, waiting for them, the Hood. And the Hood has a gun pointed at Mary Jane and he has a gun pointed at Peter Parker. Sorry, not Mary Jane. And he's threatening to kill Peter unless Black Cat is able to retrieve his hood that he lost during his fight with Hawkeye. And what happens is just she says, "Yeah, I'll do it, but I need to take Mary Jane with me because she's part of the crew." Because she knows that if Mary Jane dies, she feels like Peter is never going to forgive her for not getting her out of harm's way. So Mary Jane agrees to go. And you would think when you're reading this, like, what the hell is Mary Jane going to do? Like, what can she do? You'll be surprised what they were able to use Mary Jane for. And this part I won't spoil. Let's just say they use her acting talents and her celeb status to an advantage to get certain information from criminals, which I thought was a really funny scene with one villain who was actually a kind of like a huge fan of Mary Jane's acting. I won't spoil who it is. It's funny. And then they actually use her to fool another villain, a major Spider-Man villain as well. So I thought that really worked very well. It was a very fun adventure book with some really great artwork as well. What I really wanted to talk about and what really landed home for me was this beautiful ending. After the mission's done, after they completed the mission, spoiler, obviously, they did find the Hood, and they tricked the Hood in a very smart way, which I thought was really great. Mary Jane and Felicia have a kind of this heart to heart, which I thought was really, really brilliantly done. And Mary Jane is telling Felicia that this was like one crazy night. She had fun. It was nice to be the bad girl for once. And Felicia starts to feel a certain way. Like she didn't really like that comment. And she says something that I thought really kind of hit home for the Felicia Hardy character and her love for Peter Parker. And I'm gonna read this line because I thought it worked. This is where I really loved and what I really love what was written here. And let me try to find. Yeah, I have it right here. So she says the line. Mary Jane says it was fun being the bad girl for once, and then Felicia replies, "The bad girl. I hate that's what I am in his life, his history. I am not jealous of you." She's talking to Mary Jane. "I'm not jealous of you. I'm not trying to get him back, but our time together was important to me. It was part of what made me who I am. He was the first man I ever loved, but from the outside, I'm just the bad girl. The distraction until the good girl wins in the end, the perfect one. It sucks." And then Mary Jane starts laughing, and then she says, "I know exactly how you feel. I was the bad girl first." And she was like, "I was the party girl, always getting into trouble somewhere. And then there was Gwen Stacy, and she was perfect. I'm not exaggerating, she was. Have you ever had to live up to the memory of a dead girl?" And I won't spoil any more after that. That whole couple of pages, just like I was like, wow, these writers, the artists, the way they captured the emotion, they got it. They got the core relationships between these women, and they understood exactly how Felicia would feel, how Mary Jane would feel, and I love how they brought up that history of Gwen Stacy. It was a beautiful, once you pick it up and read it for yourself, and you go through the whole adventure, and then you see that ending. It kind of comes out of nowhere because you're not expecting. It's like, okay, they just had an adventure. They're like, yeah, good job, call it a day. I was not expecting this kind of heart to heart between these two women, and just for their love of Peter. And it ends with a nice joke to the, like, how does this nerd get all these girls? It was a nice joke, but I love that interaction. I love the fact that they really just stopped the whole fun adventure, and they just really had this kind of serious moment with each other. It was just like, look, we both truly love this man, and they all feel like one of them. They all feel like in certain way that they're not good enough for Peter, because there's like they're always comparing each other. Obviously, Felicia's comparing herself to Mary Jane. Mary Jane's comparing herself to Gwen Stacy. So I really like that examination. Hopefully, if this continues, I want to see more of that being explored. I want to see more of how their relationship and friendship goes from what they love for Peter, and just to see how they develop as friends too. So I'm definitely going to say this one is a must pick up. I really did enjoy it. It's a fun story. Like I said, the ending, I know I spoiled. This is a spoiler review, but the ending was really, really something I wanted to talk about. So definitely, if you picked up this book, comment below. Let me know, what did you like about it, what you didn't like about it. This is Justin from UntitledGeeks.com. Of course, if you like what we do here, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you're watching this on UntitledGeeks.com, browse the website. We have editorials, interviews, podcasts, the whole enchilada. You can follow us on Instagram at @TacosandGeeks, Twitter.com/TheTacosandGeeks, Facebook.com/TheTacosandGeeks blog, Twitch.tv/TheTacosandGeeks. I'm out of here. Later days. Catch you on the next review.